Public School. I'm your science teacher. We are learning chapter 15, Improvement in Food Resources. Now, let me take you a little back in this one, as in two classes are going with a little different topic. So, cropping pattern, if we talk about, in cropping pattern, what do we understood is that there are certain types of plants which has to be grown together, right? For example, wheat and gram, sunflower and this one, mustard, wheat and mustard, groundnut and sunflower. Now, why this flower should be grown together? So that both have certain type of requirement with each other. They both require different type of nutritions. So whenever you try to grow them together, they do not try for the same nutrition. Hence, in return, they used to provide something to each other, right? With the help of this, both this will grow simultaneously in the same field along, right? Along with it, they will grow very nicely because both of them have different requirement, and on the contrary, they used to help each other. How? Some nutrition is provided by the plant also. So this nutrition which is provided, let's say by groundnut, is helpful to sunflower. If sunflower is providing some nutrition in the soil, it is helpful to the groundnut. So such cropping pattern, you can grow two crops simultaneously in the same field at the same time without minimum risk and also failure of any crop. So intercropping is usually happen to grow more than two or more crops simultaneously. Simultaneously means together on the same field in a definite pattern, right? They can be grown in terms of rows, alternate, like one row of this, one row of another one row of this, one of another pattern like this. For example, you can grow soybean plus maize, finger millet, bajra, and cowpea, right? You can grow such crops also. Now, the crops are selected such that nutrition, again I'm saying the nutrition requirements are different. What if they both have the same requirement? Then the problem arises. Why? They both will fight for the same nutrition and might be they don't grow very properly. That is the reason we require such plants that have different requirements. So these crops are selected such that the nutrition requirements are different and maximum utilization of nutrition supplied. Okay. They also prevent pests and diseases for spreading all over the plants on one crop in the field. Let's say if only one crop is grown. So what is the problem? If any disease comes into the field, it will goes to all the plants. But what if you have two types of plants? Then only one type of plant is affected. The others still get protected, right? So your crop is not a total failure at this point of time. Second is the growing of different crops on a same piece of land pre-plant is known as crop rotation. Crop rotation is little different thing. Crop rotation is what you say. Let's say I have grown wheat this time. So after my wheat is done, I'm going to grow sugarcane or some vegetables or something. But it should be pre-planned so that what you have grown earlier, they must have given something to the soil. Use or grow such plants that will utilize that nutrition. Okay. So depending upon the duration, crop rotation is done. Duration. Every plant has certain duration from 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, right? Like this. Also, the availability of moisture and irrigation facility. For example, I said you cannot grow rice in summer because it requires a lot of water. We cannot supply such a big water in summer. No doubt, we do have some irrigation facility, but it is very good to grow them during winter or monsoon season, right? So right now, if you look around when you go somewhere, right, you must have noticed that a lot of people used to grow rice right before the monsoon or after the monsoon, right? If the crop rotation is done properly, you can take 2 to 3 crops in a year with a good harvest. Harvest means you can cut down when it grow mature. Okay. Next is, once we have grown our crop, what is our crop protection management? Crop protection management, again I'm saying, crop require a lot of care and practice. Right? It's not like you just have grown and you went away and you come after 6 months and harvest. No, no, no. You have to take care of it. Your field should be taken care of in number of ways. Now, what are the things you can manage? Right? So they have large number of weeds, insects, pests, and diseases also. Now, what is weed? Weed is an unwanted plant. What do they do? For example, grass or something which grown near to your plant, or any unwanted plant you don't want it. They grow on their own. Such plants you have to remove it. You have to remove those plants from the surrounding. Why? If you remove those plants from the surrounding, right, then only your plant will grow appropriately. Otherwise, what happens? This plant which you have grown, whatever the nutrients you are providing or the soil is having, it is taken up by the weeds only, right? So that is the reason we have to remove such weeds, unwanted plants from the field. The examples are Santhium. Okay, these are all the examples of unwanted plant. They compete for food. Food means they take food from the soil which is given to your plant. They take light, they take space, right? Which take nutrients and reduce, this is important, they take nutrients and reduce the growth of your plant. So whatever supply you are providing, it is taken up by your weeds. Removal of weeds during early stages can have a good harvest. So basically, when your plant is small and your weeds are growing, or when the weeds are small, you remove it, it is very good. Otherwise, if the weeds is getting bigger and bigger, if your weeds is getting bigger and bigger, then they will not allow the plant. Second thing is insects or pests. Now, how do they attack? They cut your root stem or even sap. Right? Sometimes you have seen that from the root only your whole plant is getting. If your root get died, the whole plant get died. They sometimes suck the whole stem. So basically, from there your plant gets dead. Right? They bore into stem. You must have seen certain fruits that have holes into it. That is what they are talking. They bore into the stem or fruits also. Now some diseases are caused in the plants by fungi, bacteria, and viruses, right? They are there in the soil also, they are there in the water also, and air also. So basically, weeds, insects, and disease can be controlled by various methods. The first method is the use of pesticides, right? Those are the chemicals. The other use are herbicides, insecticide, fungicide, depend upon what type of disease it is, right? If pests are there, you have to use pesticides. But right, herbicides is a natural form of using medicines like this. Insects are there, insecticide, fungus. If your soil is too moist, and lot of fungus is around, so that the roots are getting damaged, you use fungicides. Excessive use of this chemical also create a lot of problem because they are poisonous, right, to plants and animals also. Weed controlling method are mechanical removal. Mechanical removal is the best method. You have to hold that weed and you have to remove out of it. That is the best method. Okay. So that is the reason always whenever somebody is growing plants, they used to prepare the bed, right? Sowing of crops, intercropping, and weed control. All these things. This is what we call about crop protection management. So it's like you just don't need to sow the seed, and or you don't need to plant it and then went away. You have to take care of it. Your plant should be taken care of regularly with water, with fertilizers or manure or disease controlling, regular watering, right? Everything need to be taken care of. Okay. Now, if you look at the industrial value of human animal products, look, cow milk. Look at the nutritive value of the cow. Mm, it provide 4% protein, sugar, right, minerals and water, and certain vitamins also. That is the reason we say milk is a whole product, a whole food. You will get everything from it. Egg will provide maximum protein, meat will provide maximum protein, fish will provide little less protein, but still compared to milk it is more. And if you see, the fat level is very less in meat and fish. Okay, so likewise, this is a nutritive value of an animal product. We'll come to it later. Now the next thing what we are learning is this the the product which we have got, right, the crops we have harvested. Now the problem is storage. You have to store, your grains in a proper manner, so that it has a high factor of losing because of insects, rodents, fungi, mites, bacteria, and right, and these are anabiotic, right. Inappropriate moisture and temperature can also damage your crop. When you store grains, your parents should have put some tablet into it, right, which we call as anajni godi, we call it as, right. The other thing, you used to apply castor oil on it, right. Why? They will. The reason is they will avoid it, that moisture does not come in contact. Even you have seen tuvar dal, right. Tuvar dal is soaked in a castor oil. The reason is this only, so that it can stay for a longer period of time. See, storage is really important part, because if storage is not going to happen, the grain is not going to stay with us for a longer period of time, then it is not going to sustain. So this is important. These factors can be controlled by proper treatment and systematic. Okay. Prevention and control will be used. Therefore, the grain should be strictly cleaned before the storage. They used to first put in a sunlight. They soaked. Even some fumigations or chemicals are used to kill the pest. That is the reason we used to wash our grains before we use it. Clear? So with this, we have completed our crop protection, management, and storage. The next thing what they are going to teach you is the animal husbandry. Okay, animal husbandry is like, we used to rear animals for our livelihood. Livelihood means what? For earning purpose, for food purpose, and all. Cattle farming, right? So in that we keep cow, buffalo, goats at our home. We rear them for milk, for milk production, right. So we are going to see this in it. Poultry farming, right. Poultry farming is used for the food production, like for eggs production. Even their meat is used as a for the product. Boilers are used for meat, right. So what kind of breed you grow? Egg production and boiler production, fish production. Now fisheries is again comes in animal husbandry. Marine fisheries are there. Even you have seen when you go towards Dandi Road, Samapur areas are there. They used to grow prawns, right? Jingauch here we call it as prawns. That is also very good business in terms of animal husbandry. Lastly, inland fisheries is what used to make pond and see, sea fishing, like the people used to go into the sea and then they do fishing and then come back. That is another thing. Inland fishing is what? You make pond or something and then in that you grow fishes. Those are different things. Beekeeping is one of the last thing, that bee we used to for honey production, right. We used to keep these things. Fine. So we'll discuss this 2 3 topics tomorrow, and a day after tomorrow might be we get complete this with this chapter. I'll send you the question answers for the same in day or two. Okay. Just keep reading. Take care of yourself. Be safe. Right. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.